Tonight on Coronation Street, paranoia spread through the cobbles like wildfire. Friendships cracked. Tempers exploded. And one accusation may have just pushed this entire murder investigation into even more dangerous territory. Because Tracy Barlow has done it again. Another suspect. Another theory. Another emotional grenade thrown directly into the middle of Weatherfield. But while Tracy was busy playing detective, Todd Grimshaw was quietly falling apart. And tonight he finally detonated. Welcome back to Coronation Street Update. Your home for all the biggest Coronation Street drama, breakdowns, theories, and emotional deep dives from the cobbles. If you love suspense, chaos, and classic Corrie confrontations, make sure you subscribe right now because this storyline is becoming one of the most unpredictable mysteries the show has delivered in years. And after tonight's episode, nobody feels safe anymore. The atmosphere from the very beginning felt different. Heavy. Restless. The kind of episode where every conversation feels loaded with danger before anybody has even raised their voice. And at the center of it all, of course, was Tracy Barlow. Now let's be honest here. Tracy has never exactly been known for restraint. When she believes something, she attacks it headfirst with absolute conviction, regardless of who gets hurt along the way. But this latest obsession? It's becoming something else entirely. What makes Tracy so fascinating is that she operates on instinct more than evidence. She reads people emotionally. She notices tension, fear, hesitation, silence, and sometimes terrifyingly she ends up being right. That's what made tonight so compelling. Because when Tracy revealed the latest person she believes could be responsible for the murder, the room completely shifted. You could actually feel the discomfort spreading across the screen. Some characters looked stunned. Others looked nervous. And a few looked almost afraid of where this was all heading. But then everything changes. Because underneath Tracy's chaotic investigation lies something much more dangerous than gossip. Control. The more this mystery spirals, the more the entire street begins emotionally turning on itself. People are questioning each other. Watching each other differently. Second-guessing every conversation and every movement. And Tracy thrives inside that chaos. That's the uncomfortable truth. She doesn't just want answers anymore. She wants momentum. She wants reactions. She wants the truth to bend toward the version she believes. And honestly, that makes her just as dangerous as the mystery itself. But while Tracy was pulling everyone deeper into suspicion, Todd Grimshaw was reaching breaking point. And what followed was one of the rawest emotional explosions we've seen from him in a very long time. Todd has always been one of Coronation Street's most emotionally layered characters. He hides vulnerability behind sarcasm, intelligence, and sharpness. He controls situations because deep down, he hates feeling emotionally exposed. But tonight, that control vanished. The confrontation scene was absolutely electric. You could sense weeks of frustration bubbling underneath every line of dialogue. Every glance felt hostile. Every word carried emotional history behind it. This wasn't simply anger. This was exhaustion. The exhaustion of constantly carrying pressure. Constantly navigating tension. Constantly trying to hold everything together while the street around him becomes more toxic by the day. And that's why the scene worked so brilliantly. Because it felt human. Messy. Uncomfortable. Explosive. The kind of emotional outburst that doesn't feel scripted, it feels inevitable. And that's when things take a darker turn. Because Todd's breakdown may have revealed something important about the emotional state of the street itself. Nobody is coping anymore. Not really. This murder investigation has stopped being about facts and started becoming something psychological. Every accusation creates another fracture. Every theory creates another enemy. And the longer it continues, the more unstable everyone becomes. That's what Coronation Street handled so cleverly tonight. This wasn't just a whodunit. It became a story about emotional pressure. About what happens when ordinary people become consumed by suspicion, fear, and obsession. Even the pacing of the episode reflected that tension. There were moments where scenes almost felt suffocating. Conversations overlapped emotionally. Characters interrupted each other. Nobody seemed fully calm. The street itself felt agitated. And honestly, that atmosphere elevated the entire episode. Now we need to talk about the performances. Because Kate Ford was sensational tonight. She understands Tracy Barlow perfectly. She never tries to soften the character or make her conventionally likable. Instead, she leans directly into Tracy's unpredictability. One second she's amusing, the next she's reckless, then suddenly unsettling. That unpredictability makes every Tracy scene impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, Gareth Pierce delivered some incredibly powerful material as Todd. There was genuine emotional fatigue in his performance tonight. Not theatrical shouting for the sake of drama. Real emotional collapse underneath the anger. You believed every second of it. And viewers online are absolutely divided. Some fans think Tracy is finally getting close to the truth. Others think she's completely lost perspective and is dragging innocent people into chaos purely because she refuses to let go. But interestingly, a growing number of fans seem more emotionally invested in Todd's storyline than the murder mystery itself. Why? Because people recognize emotional burnout when they see it. Todd's explosion felt relatable. The pressure, the frustration, the sense of being emotionally cornered. That's why social media exploded after the episode aired. And what happens next is devastating, because episodes like this rarely end the conflict. They deepen it. Todd's outburst is almost certainly going to create fallout across multiple relationships. Once emotions reach that level publicly, there's no easy reset button. Words linger. Resentment lingers. And Tracy? She's only going to push harder now. That's the truly dangerous part. The more resistance she faces, the more determined she becomes. She genuinely believes she's uncovering something important, and that conviction makes her almost impossible to stop. But that may not be the whole truth, because there's another possibility emerging here. What if the real damage isn't who committed the crime, but what this investigation is turning everyone into? That's the deeper emotional thread beginning to emerge beneath the mystery. Trust is collapsing, patience is disappearing, and people who once understood each other are beginning to see enemies everywhere. Which brings us to the biggest question of all. How far can this story go before somebody crosses a line they can't come back from? Because tonight felt like a turning point. Not a resolution. Not an answer. Fracture. One of those classic Coronation Street episodes where the emotional consequences may end up mattering far more than the mystery itself. And honestly, that's when Corrie is at its absolute best. So now we want to hear from you. Do you think Tracy is genuinely getting closer to the killer? Or is she creating chaos for the sake of control? Did Todd completely lose control tonight? Or was his explosion fully justified? And most importantly, who do you think is hiding the biggest secret on the street right now? Drop all your theories, reactions, and predictions in the comments below because this fan community always spots clues nobody else notices. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Coronation Street update. Because if tonight proved anything, it's that the cobbles are becoming more dangerous by the day. And we have a feeling the worst is still to come.